Hello, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper. And tonight is Technique Tuesday. It's the last Tuesday of the month. And so, as I started last month, on the last Tuesday of the month, I am sharing a technique with you. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So, thank you for joining me. It is my vacation week, and I'm having a really great, relaxing, fun start to the week. And so looking forward to the rest of the week. So tonight I'm going to be using the Delightful Wishes stamp set for this technique. Hi Roz, happy Tuesday to you too. So I'll be using this, and this is not the card I'm going to make, but this is where I made this card when I learned how to make the technique. So as you can see, what I want you to really see in the middle is the tearing technique that I used. And so tonight, that's what I'm going to show you, is how to do this really cool tearing technique. Okay, let's put that aside. This one, I am going to stick with Pool Party. I was making this one and decided I didn't like this paper, the designer series paper. I really liked the vellum that I was using. So I'm just making some switches. I might still make something with this card because as I'm looking at it on camera, it doesn't look as bad as I'm thinking. I just don't like the paper, how it came together. So here's what we need for tonight's card. I have already done some stamping and die cutting, so I'm just going to put that aside. And I kept a strip of the vellum paper to put on the inside of the card. So for my card base, I need a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 9 inches, and it's scored at 5 1/2. And then I need a piece of the same color cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by just a smidgen under 5 1/2, and I'll show you why it needs to just be under. And then I have here a 4 1/4 by 4 inch piece of the vellum blue check, the Pool Party check, and I've got a matching size piece of white, basic white, to put under it. It's going to be hard probably to tear all 3 of these layers, but I decided that I really like the check under the white, so I want to have that white available. Then I have here a piece of the other beautiful vellum that measures 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then finally, I have the piece of cardstock that's going to go into my card, and I'm going to be putting this piece of vellum right across the bottom of this. So I'm going to do that while I have this out. This is just a 1/2 inch strip. It is what is left over from when I was doing my cutting, and I always keep those strips so that I can use them inside my cards. I will call you tomorrow, Barbara. I was out straight today, so I didn't get a chance to give you a call, but I will do that. I'm going to be in Bedford for the first half of the day. I have an appointment with my neurosurgeon, my final appointment since my summer surgery. And that's about an hour. It's about an hour and 20 minutes away. So I'll be gone most of the morning, so I'll call you before lunch. All right, so this is what the inside piece of my card looks like. I'm just going to set that aside. And now I am going to just fold on that score line. And I am going to just lightly attach this to this piece of paper. You're going to see what I'm going to be doing with it. It doesn't have to stay attached, but it will be much easier to do the tearing if it's a little bit attached. The DSP is the gingham vellum that goes along with the Delightful Floral, or the Floral Delight. I can't remember which way it goes, sweet. Okay, so I have that. What I am going to do is I am going to put this right up to the top of this. And I am going to put another little piece of vellum, adhesive right there. And I'm going to fold this over. And that's just going to hold it together for me. And I am going to make a tear that's going to go right across here. So I want to, and I've got lots of layers here. So let me start. And as I tear, I'm tearing towards me so that there we go, so that I have this really beautiful edge at the top. I'm going to take this piece off, and what I am going to do is bring this down so that I'm going to put some adhesive on the top. It'll just make it easier when I decide where I'm going to stop. I'm going to put this piece, because now these tears are going to line up. So I am going to put this piece so it's coming right on top of that. Give you an idea what it looks like. I'm going to, on this little section here, add a little bit more adhesive. And now what I can do is I can take, before I get this all together, I can rough up these edges by pushing up a little bit. And I can do that with the white and the vellum as well. So it just gives it a little bit more texture. Okay, there's the top part of the card. Now I have this bottom part of the card that it's the same thing. These two match, so I can line these up so that they're going to be on the bottom of the card here. So that gives you an idea what I'm doing. So I'm going to again just rough this up a little bit. And I'm going to do the same here with just the little bit that I have. And I'm going to make sure I've got adhesive that's going to hold this down. And then this is going to go right on top of it. So I'm going to add adhesive to this piece as well. You've probably all have torn paper before. I just thought this was kind of a neat way to really have, a nice opening in the card like that. Okay, so now next I'm going to take my other piece of DSP, which is just the beautiful flowers. Try to decide which way. I think I want it like that, but let me just, nope, I want it like this. So I am going to place this towards the bottom of the card. Nope, as you can see, I can't because it needs to go up here a little bit more. So I'm going to place that there, and then this is going to go over top of it, which is going to give us the, be able to see that beautiful vellum on the other side. So what I'm going to do is put adhesive at the top of this and a little bit of adhesive at the bottom of this. Just bring that up a little bit Just want to make sure everything's covering it. There we go. So I can put that down, and now I can adhere this piece to the bottom of the card. There we go. So now that's what the front of the card looks like. Isn't that beautiful? And I really love the vellum with the vellum instead of using the designer series paper with the vellum. I really like how this is turning out. So I have that piece. Now, if we open up to the inside, we have quite a mess. So let me just... Oops, I've got some adhesive on here. That's my problem. Okay, so I've got this mess on the back. So if you remember, I said to cut this just shy of 5.5, but it needed to be 4 1/4. And we're going to use this to cover up the inside. So we won't even see that mess that's on the inside of the card. So I want this to line up with the bottom of the card and with the sides of the card. And it should come just under that score line. So now we have, whoops, something is a little, I went too long. Doesn't that figure? So I'm just going to trim it off. I didn't match it up with the bottom of the card like I said I was going to. So the bottom is a little long now, but we can cut that off, everything but the bottom of the card. Let me just, there we go. That is much better. Just want it even. I cut off a little too much. There we go. All right, now to do what we're going to do on this. And I'm just going to trim this a little bit as well, since I just made that inside a little smaller. Okay, so this is going to go into the inside of the card. For whatever I want to write on the inside. Now let's take care of the outside of the card. I'm going to start with stamping the wishing at the top of the card like I did on the other one. But I want to use Pool Party on Pool Party. But I want to make sure I'm going to get it dark enough too. So I'm going to use my stamp positioner. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell this anymore, but let's see, will it fit? Let me see how I want to do this. Maybe I'm going to use a different stamp. I am going to use a different stamp. So I am going to use, let's see, I tore a little high on that, so I don't want to use that at the top. Let me see what I have over here. Okay, I'm going to use Link Together. And I'm going to start with putting this, I think I'll just put it right on like this, going straight across. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab my magnets to hold this in place. There we go. I'm going to close my plate down, and I'm going to ink this up. I might have to do this a couple of times to make it really noticeable. So, yeah, I want it just a little darker. So, a stamp positioner is something Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell. We used to sell this one, but are unable to sell it anymore. There we go. That looks really nice. And now I am going to just move my magnet out of the way. Keep that right there. And I am going to have wishing you a happy day. I think I'm going to have that go this way. And then I still have room to put my flowers on. Okay, so I'm going to add that. And now I can do the same thing. And make sure it's dark enough for my liking. That's one of the things that's nice about a stamp positioner. So if it's something that you don't have, it might be something you'd want to invest in. Okay, 2 times does the charm. And I'll hold that up close to show you what it looks like, and I'll get this out of the way. So I have wishing you a happy day. Now we're going to decorate the card. So what I did was I already pre-cut some flowers and stems and leaves from the set, and I'm going to put this right up to the side here. Let me add a little bit of glue. I've had so much fun using this stamp set. I used it for Simply Stamping Sunday this month. And like I said, I've just had so much fun playing with it. It is definitely my kind of stamp set. Okay, so I've got some glue there. I'm doing my design a little differently than I had planned, but that is what crafting is all about. You start with an idea and then you just keep going with it and make adjustments along the way. Okay, so there we go. We have the branch, and now I am going to add some flowers. So I'm going to start with the little tiny one. Is going to go at the top. So I'm going to add a little glue. Remember, glue goes a long way. And I'm just going to start adding the flowers. This one is going to go right in the middle like this. I'm going to add that in a second. Just want to find all the other flowers so I can keep adding them. So again, tonight I wanted to really focus on the technique and be looking at how you can use this tear. And you can do it. It doesn't have to be a tear that, I don't want you to think that you have to use just designer series paper or vellum behind it. You definitely could be using in regular paper. You can emboss it with an embossing folder. That would look really pretty to have that texture coming up. So this is just, like I said, a really, really fun technique. So I'm just going to finish adding the flowers to finish up this card. And I think I'm going to just add an extra one. Whoops, I picked one up too. I die cut 2 of them so I could have some extras to put on. And I'm going to put one right here. And then I die cut some leaves to add to different places on the card as well. So we're almost done. I could add bling to this. I could add ribbon. Can add whatever I want to finish it up. But I want to get these leaves in first. Okay, I think that looks good. So now let's see, what am I going to add for bling? I didn't pull any bling out, but I think the little butterflies would look wonderful on this card. I have some bumblebees too, and well, maybe they're right here. Oh no, my little bumblebees are right here. So let me use some bumblebees on this. This is what goes. Thank you, Roz, for sharing it. I am just going to put some little dots of glue. I think I'll put one here under wishing. And I will put one under here. And I'll do one up here closer to the plant. And I'm just going to take a pick tool and grab these and add them to the front of the card. And our card will be done. And there we have the finished card. I love this torn paper technique, and by tearing it, coming off together, you get the torn paper to match the top layer, which is just so pretty. So that is our technique for this month. I will be back next month on the last Tuesday of the month to share with you another technique. And of course, I'll be back Friday night for more Fun Fold Friday. And I will be back Sunday night for a new month of Simply Stamping Sunday. Have a great evening, everyone. Good night.